So, welcome back to another Flow with Tarot segment on Unleash Your Magic. So, in the last Flow with Tarot episode, I said that was the last card. And what I noticed very quickly is that no, it was not the last card. We actually have 13 more cards to go through. Somehow I thought that I was keeping my deck and the cards that I had already done, that I was keeping them separate. But somehow the cards that I did not do, that I did not talk about, they got mixed in. So anyway, we've got 13 more cards. And so let's just pick out a card. I'll go with this one. So this is the Queen of Swords. So with the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords is giving. I said what I said, energy. I've made up my mind. This is the decision that I'm making right now. Nothing can change my mind. This is it. Which is a fabulous energy to bring into any type of endeavor. It is a wonderful energy to bring into any type of decision that you have to make. Your decisions that you make, they do require that type of attitude, right? That is a good energy to bring in any type of, let's say, new business that you're starting, or another business that you're starting, changes that you're making to the business that you currently have, changes to your career, changes where you live. It's just life changes overall. That is a good energy to bring in. Even with a project that you're working on, it's a good energy to have. A creative project that you're working on, no matter what the project is, that is a good energy to have. That energy that says, this is what it is. I said what I said. I'm moving in this direction. Don't try and change my mind. I'm not bringing in any other information. I don't need any other advice. I don't need a bunch of noise. This is it. But what we do have to be mindful of, which is what I feel like the Queen of Swords also reminds us, is not to be rigid. Find the balance in bringing that energy, but also bringing in flexibility. Accept balance with sitting in what you said. Bring the balance in accepting what you desire and accepting your decision, yet also allowing, as you sit in your decision, also allowing for flexibility. For example, there may be something that you want to do, a change that you're going to make, and you're saying, I'm going to have this done. I'm going to do this, and this is going to be complete by a certain time, by a certain day, before a certain day. Now, it's good to have that plan. It's good to have that vision. So let's say, for example, September 1st, I'm making a decision now, and I'm going to see the result by September 1st. Okay, that's great, again, to have that plan. But I need to be flexible, to allow myself to accept the possibility that I could see the result by July 1st. Who says I can't have the result that I want by July 1st? Who says that? So that's an example of having balance with allowing yourself to be flexible. Sometimes the word flexible, it can come along with fear, because when we hear the word flexible, we often interpret that to mean, why I'm releasing control. I no longer have control. But that's where the balance comes in, because you can sit in your plan, you can sit in your strategy, you can say, I said what I said, but also not feeling like you have to control everything. Because the root of control, if you really look at the foundation of control, is fear. It's fear. Because if you were really sure about what you said, if you were really sure about your decision, if you were really sure about the result that you know belongs to you, if you were really sure about your desire, and you know that your desire is already completed before you even open your mouth, it's done, then you would not feel the need to control. Let's bring it even make it even more simple. So I am doing this video on a Saturday, okay? And let's say that, you've got your plan out for this new week. You are writing the things down that you want to complete, that you want to even start. You can write those things down, but yet be open to not controlling every single aspect. If you say, let's say Tuesday, you have something that you want to do. Let's say, here's just another simple example. You want to walk 3 miles. You don't need to control when you do it, where you do it. You just know you're going to walk 3 miles. That's what you want to do. Well, let's say Tuesday gets here. You walk the miles, but you find you only do 2 miles. Well, what happens to your nervous system? Do you get agitated? Do you get angry? Because, I don't know, for whatever reason, you just walk 2 miles instead of 3. Do you just say, well, okay, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Now for tomorrow, for the next day, for Wednesday, I have to make sure I do 3 miles. I'm going to do this, and this to make sure nothing gets in my way. Or do you approach the next day with ease? Or do you approach your list and saying, okay, well, I didn't walk 3 miles, but I walked 2. I still feel good. But when I'm using that as an example, because when you approach when you approach what you want to do, when you're approaching it with control, with rigidity that does not allow for flexibility, if something doesn't occur the way that you think it should occur, yes, you make progress, but then you can't even enjoy that progress because you're saying, no, this is what I said, this is what I wanted, it didn't happen this way, so I'm not going to even celebrate the progress that I made. Going back to the walk example, you're saying, well, I planned for 3 miles, I only walked 2. I'm not going to even celebrate that I walked 2 miles. I'm not going to even be happy with that. I can't allow myself to be happy with the 2 miles because I said 3. So you see how that works. This is what I feel like the Queen of Swords is reminding us. The sword represents air. Air is also symbolic of the frequency in our words and what we say. So yes, say your desire, say that you're settled in your decision, but also saying that I am flexible in this. I am calm in my decision. Because I know that I'm going to see my desire. I'm going to allow for what is aligned to put me on the path to receive what I desire. I'm going to approach every action with ease. I'm going to celebrate my progress. I'm going to remain calmly embodied in this decision. I don't need to control anything because I said what it is. I said what I said. So I know that there's no need for me to be rigid. And that's what I feel like the Queen of Swords is giving us right now. So, don't forget that I offer readings. You can schedule your reading. First, before you schedule, please go through the explanation on my website of how I go about my readings, okay? So that you're aware of how I conduct my readings and why before you schedule. And I will leave the link for you to check that out and schedule your reading in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments if you're experiencing any or feeling any challenges in your spiritual practice, and if there is something that you would like for me to expound on, talk about. All right, let's talk in the chat. And I look forward to providing more vlog style videos on this channel. We're going to have some fun in our magic. Remember that. I've talked about this before, but one last thing. Remember to have fun in your spiritual practice. Have fun. It doesn't have to always be, again, rigid. It doesn't have to always be planned out and strategic. Yes, being strategic about your rituals, it has its place, of course. But remember to infuse it with fun and with joy. Your spiritual practice should not be like a chore. It shouldn't feel like a chore because it's what you live. Okay? So, until next time, stay magical and have fun.